World. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, Middle East remains on the edge even as UN and world leaders call for maximum restraint after Iran's attack on Israel. Biden warns Israel that US will not take part in any retaliatory action against Iran. Trump's efforts to delay New York criminal trial stemming from hush money paid to an adult star fail. Jury selection for first ever criminal trial of a former US president due to start in a New York state court. Campaigning for first phase running in full steam with political parties garnering support for their candidates. India's Prime Minister Modi to address public rally in South Indian state of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. And in football, Bayern Leverkusen scores their first ever Bundesliga title, ending an 11-year stranglehold on the league by Bayern Munich. Diplomats at the UN Security Council called for restraint following Iran's drone attack on Israel on Saturday. The council met for an emergency meeting on Sunday with members fearing a full-blown spillover of the conflict in the region. DD India's Jody Jacobs reports from New York.
It was a tense UN Security Council meeting, and with the UN Secretary General present, an indication perhaps that this matter is of international importance and the fear of a full-blown conflict in that region is now real. Antonio Guterres has called for calm, saying that the world does not need another war.
The Middle East is on the brink. The people of the region are confronting a real danger of a devastating full-scale conflict. Now is the time to defuse and de-escalate. Now is the time for maximum restraint.
Israel, who called for the meeting, said Iran had crossed every red line and it reserves the right to retaliate. It's called on the Council to take severe action against Iran. But it was Russia's ambassador that called his Western colleagues hypocritical and of having double standards. The US maintains that it continues to fully support Israel's right to defend itself and will in the coming days explore additional measures to hold Iran accountable. There was a direct message from Iran directed at the United States, warning that should Washington initiate any form of military operations against it, it will use its inherent right to respond proportionately. The Council is yet to decide on what actions it will take, but this latest developments will most likely remain on its agenda this week. Jody Jacobs at the United Nations, reporting for DD India.
Condemning Iran's unprecedented attack against Israel, US President Joe Biden has pledged a coordinated G7 diplomatic response to the drone and missile attacks. On Sunday, G7 leaders held a video meeting to debate on Iran's attack on Israel. Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani said that he hoped that the Israeli government shows restraint in its response. Iran launched over 300 drones and missiles at Israel overnight, which Tehran said was in response to the April 1 strike on its consulate in Syria. The latest attacks have raised the threat of a wider regional escalation. President Joe Biden has warned Prime Minister Netanyahu that US will not take part in a counter-offensive against Iran if Israel decides to retaliate for a mass drone and missile attack on Israeli territory. Now, according to a White House official, Biden had informed Netanyahu in a phone call that he would not participate in retaliatory action and that US will not support any Israeli counterattack against Iran. As tensions escalate in West Asia, Israel says the country is still on high alert following the attack from Iran. Israeli military said that its armed forces had shot down multiple drones and missiles launched from Iran. Also, IDF spokesperson Daniel Hagari said that Israel's critical mission in Gaza remained the rescue of all its hostages still held by Hamas.
Even while under attack from Iran, we have not lost sight, not for one moment, of our critical mission in Gaza, to rescue our hostages from the hands of Iran's proxies, Hamas, of our moral duty to do everything in our power to bring 133 hostages back home. Hamas recently rejected the hostage release proposal offered to them by the mediators. Hamas and Iran want to ignite the Middle East and to escalate the region. We are still on high alert and assessing the situation.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday reconvened the war cabinet in Tel Aviv to discuss the response to the Iranian attack. Israeli officials said that the panel favored retaliation in the meeting. However, it was divided over the timing and scale of any such response. The five-member cabinet, including Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz, was expected to convene again for further discussions. India has urged immediate de-escalation in the wake of rising tensions between Israel and Iran. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Sunday held a telephonic conversation with its Israeli counterpart, Israel Katz, and shared India's concerns over evolving situation in the Middle East after Iranian attempt to strike Israel. They discussed the larger regional situation and agreed to stay in touch. Dr. S. Jaishankar also spoke to his Iranian counterpart. The minister took up the release of 17 Indian crew members of MSC Ares. The leaders discussed the current situation in the region and stressed on the importance of avoiding escalation, exercising restraint and returning to diplomacy. Dr. S. Jaishankar agreed to remain in touch. Updates from US now. The first ever criminal trial of a former US president is due to get underway on Monday, with Donald Trump facing fraud charges in New York. The case revolves around hush money payments he allegedly made to an adult star to cover up an affair. Trump denies the charges, but the trial could have a major impact on Trump's re-election bid. DD India's US correspondent Nick Harper gets us the details.
A lot at stake here for the former US President Donald Trump. This case relates to a payment of $130,000 that was allegedly paid to the Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential election. That payment was made to try and keep quiet about an affair that had taken place between Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump, an affair that Donald Trump allegedly now wanted to keep quiet at a time when he was running for president in 2016. Donald Trump denies both the affair and the payment. Now, he's been trying to delay this, and we've seen various last-ditch attempts to push back the case indefinitely. However, a judge has ruled that out, and it will begin later on Monday. It means for the next 6 weeks or so, Donald Trump will not be on the campaign trail. Instead, he'll have to be in court every single day. The likelihood is that he may try and use that as an opportunity to rally as part of his re-election campaign. He could speak to reporters and supporters outside court each day, either before that day's proceedings or after they have concluded. But it does mean that he won't be able to hold the large-scale rallies that he favours as a result of the need for him to be in New York City for this trial each day. Now, on Monday, we will see jury selection. That could take several weeks. Remember, they will be looking for 12 impartial jurors who feel that they can give Donald Trump a fair trial. There is a possibility that Donald Trump will testify for himself during the course of this trial. It's something that he's suggested that he wants to do. However, undoubtedly his lawyers would probably persuade him not to, as it could open him up to a whole raft of questions. This trial in New York, revolving around these hush money payments, is just one of 4 criminal trials that the former president is facing. However, it may be the only one that comes to trial before November's election. The other 3 all facing substantial delays. In Washington, Nick Harper, reporting for DD India.
Let's get to updates from Russia-Ukraine crisis now. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Sunday said that his country needed help from its allies to fend off threats from the air, just as Israel did against Iran's attack. Zelensky again called on the US Congress to approve a vital aid package that has been blocked by political wrangling for months now. Ukraine's forces are facing new onslaughts from Russian troops in the east and daily attacks on cities and infrastructure from Russian missiles and drones.
And the fact that sanctions against Russia are still being circumvented, and the fact that we in Ukraine have been waiting months for a vital support package, the fact that we are still waiting for a vote in Congress, testifies to the fact that the confidence of terrorists has also been growing for months. You can't waste any more time. It is necessary to really protect life wherever there is a terrorist threat to it.
A year since it started, the war in Sudan has spiraled into one of the world's largest and most complex displacement crises. More than 8.6 million people have fled their homes, mostly women and children, crossing to neighboring countries. Thousands are still crossing the borders. In South Sudan, more than 1,800 people arrive daily, increasing pressure on the already stretched resources. Other countries hosting Sudanese refugees include the Central African Republic, Egypt, Ethiopia and Uganda. UNHCR and the World Health Organization have warned of a worsening health situation as health facilities across Sudan struggle to cope due to shortages of staff, life-saving medicine and critical equipment, causing unnecessary deaths. The United Nations has called for greater humanitarian assistance to aid refugees and displaced people fleeing Sudan, sparking the war between Sudan's army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. UN has urged the international community to ensure that the conflict in Sudan does not become a neglected crisis. The United Nations entity dedicated to gender equality has furthermore called for immediate steps to protect women and girls, support their economic empowerment and include them in peace negotiations and decision-making. Despite the magnitude of this crisis, UNHCR says funding is critically low and threatens aid deliveries. According to the UNHCR, it will need $284.5 million to respond to the crisis in South Sudan and has only received 18% of that funding. Chad's interim president, Mahamat Idris Deby, kicked off his presidential campaign on Sunday for the election next month. Chad's election is meant to end 3 years of military rule on a promise to strengthen security and boost the economy. Deby's government is one of the several juntas that seized power in West and Central Africa since 2020, drawing concerns of a democratic backslide. Chad is the first of these to organize elections despite regional and international pressure to swiftly hand power back to the civilians. Deby seized power in 2021 when his long-ruling father, Idris Deby, was killed on the front line against rebels in the north. The governor of Russia's Kurgan region urged people to evacuate flooded areas, saying rain was exacerbating the already tough situation there. Overall, more than 107,000 people have been evacuated in the country since the beginning of the floods. The situation can worsen sharply at night and you might have not enough time to react. The Interfax news agency also cited the government of the Tumen region to the northeast of Kurgan as saying that 2 villages there were being evacuated as the authorities feared the area could be threatened by the Ishim River. The TASS news agency cited Russia's emergency ministry as saying more than 14,000 houses across Russia have been flooded. In Kazakhstan also hit by floods, more than 1,000 houses in the city of Petropavlovsk have been flooded, the authorities said on Sunday, with more than 4,500 people evacuated. Let's take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the globe now. Earthquake of magnitude 6.2 struck New Britain region in Papua New Guinea. No threat of tsunami was reported till now. The earthquake was at a depth of 79 kilometers. Papua New Guinea sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, the arc of the seismic faults around the Pacific Ocean, where much of the world's earthquake and volcanic activity occurs. The Brazilian authorities confirmed to open investigations following reports of a boat found with decomposed bodies off the coast of the northern area of Brazil. Federal police said experts and forensic teams have been deployed to the remote area. The number, nationality and cause of death of the victims is not yet known. We're heading for a short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Political temperatures soar across the nation ahead of the first phase of polling on 19th of April.
Tracking the first phase of general elections, Team Poll Pulse has reached India's northeast in Assam. This is the tea city of India, Dibrugarh.
They are
not getting jobs in the local area like in Dibrugarh or nearby districts and all.
Home to the finest tea, the state is set for a cracker of a contest. This is 2024. Can the Congress and allies offer a fight back, or will the Modi juggernaut be unstoppable? Watch Poll Pulse on DD India.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India Live and I'm Preeti. Let's now get you the latest on the world's largest democratic election. In India's 2019 national parliamentary elections, the BJP swept all three of Northwest Bengal's Lok Sabha seats, that is Jalpaiguri, Alipurduar and Cooch Behar, and bagged 18 of the state's 42 seats overall. Now, this time in 2024, BJP's Jalpaiguri candidate and sitting MP, Dr. Janta Kumar Roy, has told DD India's Gautam Roy that his party will do even better than the last time. Let's listen in.
The battle for West Bengal, which is going to poll in 7 phases, is peaking, with the first phase taking place on the 19th on 3 seats in North Bengal. One of them is Jalpaiguri. We have the BJP's candidate, who's the sitting MP as well, Janta Kumar Roy, with us. How is your campaign going? What is the contest looking like? Because West Bengal is very keenly contested every time in the Lok Sabha elections.
No, it is not applicable for North Bengal, particularly my constituency. You know, so many persons are being, you are able to see. So I think we are excited. Our people are excited. They are waiting for the date of vote only.
What are the challenges here? Because we hear that the tea industry here faces particular challenges. It's a very key component of this area in terms of its economy. The workers are facing distress. Some factories have also been closed. Are there plans to revive it? That's what the TMC is saying. What do you make of those plans?
Actually, what happened? With the government of West Bengal, they are not looking after the tea gardens properly. I think some middlemen are there, for whom actually this industry is now being going down and down and down. So this is the market of tea. Actually, tea prices are not being raised. People who are working with the tea gardens, they are also suffering because they are not getting their salary properly. Because we have demanded that they should get at least 350. Nowadays it should be 350 as their wages.
How's the contest going otherwise? How many seats do you think the BJP can get in West Bengal this time around? Are you confident of winning your seat?
The number of seats will be more than earlier, and I think it will not be less than 25 in our state, and including my Jalpaiguri constituency.
All right, all the best. Thank you for speaking to us, to DD India. Well, there you are. That's what the BJP's candidate from Jalpaiguri is saying in terms of being high on confidence as far as the entire contest for West Bengal is concerned. 42 seats at stake here for the Lok Sabha. With camera person Sumit Himan, this is Gautam Roy, Jalpaiguri, DD India.
Tea growing and production is a key part of the economy in the 3 parliamentary seats, that is Jalpaiguri, Alipurduar and Cooch Behar of the state of West Bengal, going to polls in the first of the 7 phased Indian national elections on 19th of April. But all this is not well with the sector. Some tea estates have also been shut down due to unviability, and it has become an election issue due to the impoverished state of its workers. Gautam Roy gets us details from Jalpaiguri.
The ruins of what used to be a well-established tea-producing business in West Bengal's Jalpaiguri, which has been in shutdown mode for over the last 20 years. The Raipur tea estate and factory sprawls over 2,400 acres. It used to employ nearly 600 workers in its heydays. But after being shut down due to unviability in 2002, its machines are lying idle, rust and cobwebs have taken over, the owners having left the unit to its own fate. Most able-bodied male workers have left the estate to find work elsewhere. Those who are left pick tea leaves for a local contractor for a pittance.
We are still working, but we only get rupees 160 a day for collecting the leaves and selling it to a local contractor. Workers in other tea estates get rupees 250 a day. We get lesser because our estate is shut down. Most workers have left.
We earn some money by working in other tea estates. Otherwise, we do other works like growing potatoes and some other vegetables.
Left untended, even the tea plants in the estate are going to seed. Cattle roam freely, grazing all around. And what took decades of nurturing to flourish and provide for workers and their families is wasting away.
This is what years of neglect looks like. These tea plants that should have been full of vitality and signs of quality for tea drinkers world over are now giving way to weeds, and a disease called red spider is also taking over.
Ruling Trinamool Congress representatives say West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has promised to revive 6 of the 12 shut down tea estates in Jalpaiguri and neighbouring parliamentary seats, apart from giving tea workers land rights to their residential plots on the otherwise leased estate premises.
The CM has told us that at least 6 of the shut down tea estate in Jalpaiguri could be reopened and revived. We are hopeful that Didi will do something.
The opposition BJP says India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi had offered to take over 5 Sikh tea estates to revive them, but the state government didn't cooperate. It charges the Trinamool Congress of making false promises and having other plans for the Sikh tea estates and their sprawling lands.
Come election season, hopes are being raised once again about the revival of Sikh and shut down units like the Raipur tea estate and factory. Whether that will happen or not will only be known after the elections. Until then, the fate of Sikh units like these remains as inscrutable, as illegible as the signpost behind me. With camera person Sumit Dhaman, Gautam Roy, Jalpaiguri, DD India.
And from West Bengal, let's turn focus to Maharashtra. Maharashtra's Gadchiroli will go to polls on 19th of April. Special measures are being taken to conduct peaceful elections in the district. District Election Officer and Collector Sanjay Dain said that male and female voters enrolled are almost same. Gadchiroli witnessed a record voter turnout in 2019 elections. CD India's Shishir Shela reports from there.
India is going for the poll on the 19th April. The first phase of the polling will take place on 19th April. Right now I'm in Maharashtra and especially in Gadchiroli area, which is known to be a Naxal affected area and obviously a little bit sensitive area. To get more details of how this entire district is prepared, right now we have the district collector, Sanjay sir. Sir, first of all, just give us a brief that how Gadchiroli is prepared for the voting day.
So the unique phenomena of this constituency is that this constituency is going into the poll on 19th. That is the first stage phase of the election. So we are having different timing. So far there is 4 constituency of this PC constituency, that is Amgaon, Armory, Gadchiroli and Ahiri. The poll timing is 7 AM to 3 PM. Whereas Chimur and Brahmapuri constituencies, those are treated as a normal constituency. The poll timing is from 7 morning to 6 PM in the evening. Total number of voters is again 16,18,000. Again, the unique phenomena of this constituency is that the male and female voter percentage is almost same. To avoid and to come out the problem of absentee voters, that the voters, those who are not turning up for the voting just because of their old age or they are physically disabled. So first time in India, the Election Commission, Honorable Election Commission has started this home voting concept. In all 1375, 1375 voters have opted for that. And in Gadchiroli constituency, parliamentary constituency. they have opted for this facility.
So that was not just the numbers also, but the initiatives taken by the Election Commission also and the authority to conduct free and fair election. This is one phenomena which not just increase the voting percentage, but would also inspire other young voters to come in a large number and vote, because we have seen some of the old voters enthusiastically casting their vote sitting at home. Shir Shilar, DD India.
With the Lok Sabha elections just round the corner, Uttarakhand is bustling with political fervour and anticipation. DD India Siddharth Bhardwaj had an exclusive conversation with BJP's Haridwar constituency candidate Trivendra Singh Rawat. Let's listen in.
Well, the election fervour is certainly gripping the country, and the state of Uttarakhand will go to polls on April 19 in single phase. Everyone is very excited to vote. And I'm here with Trivendra Singh Rawat, who will be contesting from the Haridwar constituency. What do you think about these elections?
देखिए, आम चुनाव है और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये कहकर कि ये विकसित भारत का चुनाव है, ये विकसित भारत के लिए चुनाव है, उसको और ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग बना दिया है। पूरा देश माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की तरफ देख रहा है, बड़े उत्साह से देख रहा है, आकांक्षाओं से देख रहा है कि आखिर मोदी जी ने ये बात बोली है तो आखिर क्यों बोली है। और इसलिए चुनाव जो है एक नए तरह का इस बार के चुनाव में जोश है, लोगों में नया उत्साह है। जो करंट 2014 में मुझे देखने को मिला था, उसी तरह का करंट इस बार आम मतदाता में है। तो निश्चित रूप से चुनाव बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग हो गया है।
What do you think about the first time voters, and how do you think they'll play an important role in contributing to the elections?
जो भी नव मतदाता हैं, नए मतदाता हैं, वो आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से वेल कनेक्टेड है। मैं कहूं कि आज का यूथ माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से बहुत ही गहरा लगाव महसूस करता है और आज जो जोश दिख रहा है तमाम चुनावों में, उसका बड़ा कारण युवा जोश है।
So that was Trivendra Singh Rawat, who's contesting from the Haridwar constituency, and as the state of Uttarakhand will go to polls on April 19, everyone is very excited to go to polls, which will further decide the future trajectory of the state. With camera person Manmohan, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting for DD India in Uttarakhand.
Let's get to updates from the world of sports now. Bayern Leverkusen scripted history as they won their first Bundesliga title on Sunday with a thumping 5-0 win over SV Werder Bremen. Xabi Alonso's side knew victory would secure the silverware with 5 games to spare, and there were no signs of nerves as they produced a performance worthy of champions. Under Alonso's guidance, Leverkusen are currently on a Bundesliga record unbeaten run to 29 games, 25 wins and 4 draws to chalk up 79 points. All right, that's it in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and also Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.